Tom Brady left football and walked straight into a $375 million TV deal. Every quarterback dreams of that exit. Aaron Rodgers just looked at that exact same path and said no. But the way he said it, that is where things get really dark. Did he just disrespect the greatest quarterback of all time? Here's what you need to understand first. On March 5th, 2026, Aaron Rodgers sat down on the Pat McAfee Show. No obligation, no contract forcing him to show up. He chose to be there. And what he said in that appearance broke the internet within hours. Andrew Marchand from The Athletic had just published a report saying Rodgers was a wild card to join NBC's Football Night in America in 2026. NBC executives were quietly excited. The idea of one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time sitting in a studio, breaking down games, talking football, that sounded like television gold. But Rodgers did not just decline the idea. He doubled down on a promise he's been making since he first arrived in Pittsburgh. He looked into the camera and invoked his favorite cinematic disappearing act. He said, "We are not going to live a public life. Not now. Not in the future. Not ever. When this is done, it is Keyser Soze. You will not see me. I am not doing TV. I am not going to be out and about." Keyser Soze. If you have never seen the 1995 film The Usual Suspects, Keyser Soze is the character who vanishes completely. One moment he exists. The next moment he is gone, like smoke. That is what Rodgers is promising. A total disappearing act. And Tom Brady is standing on the other side of that promise holding a $375 million Fox Sports contract. Now here is where this story gets really interesting. When Tom Brady retired, the entire sports world waited to see what he would do next, and Brady did exactly what most people expected. He took the biggest broadcasting deal in NFL history, $375 million over 10 years, with Fox Sports. He became the face of their #1 football broadcast alongside Kevin Burkhardt. Brady even talked about it on camera. He said he loves the team at Fox. He praised the producers, the cameras, the directors. He called it the best team in sports. He is fully invested in that life. Rodgers just took that entire picture and threw it in the trash. Now, did he actually say Brady made the wrong choice? No. He never mentioned Brady by name. But here's the thing about silence. Sometimes silence says everything. When you publicly announce you will never do TV, never stay in the spotlight, never live a public life, and the most famous quarterback in history just signed a $375 million deal to do exactly that, the comparison writes itself. And NFL fans noticed immediately. Here is something the headlines mostly missed. Before Rodgers even said a word about retiring from broadcasting, the network executives had already made their decision about him. Front office sports reached out to multiple TV executives and talent agents after retirement rumors started swirling. What they found was brutal. Not one executive would go on record. But privately, the message was clear. They said Rodgers would come across as a pompous know-it-all who would turn off viewers. One source put it even more directly. They said, yes, he could be a great analyst, but he is insufferable. So while the public story is that Rodgers rejected TV, the full story is actually that TV may have already rejected him first. The door he claims to be slamming shut might have already been locked from the inside. That changes the entire narrative. But wait, there is more to this story than just the media angle. Rodgers did not just talk about TV on that McAfee appearance. He revealed the real reason he wants to vanish. He has a wife named Brittany, and while her identity is so guarded that some fans joke she doesn't even exist, Rodgers gave a rare and very raunchy peek into their life. When McAfee asked why he stays in such elite shape at 42, Rodgers didn't credit longevity or the game. He said, and I quote, "I want my wife to want to F-bomb me all the time." It was a viral, unfiltered moment that proved his point. He's choosing the bedroom over the broadcast booth. He's done being a public commodity. He just wants to be a husband. Think about that for a second. This is a man who hosted Jeopardy, who spent years appearing on McAfee's show, who became one of the most talked about and controversial figures in all of American sports. And now he says he wants zero public life the moment his football career ends. That level of commitment to privacy is almost unheard of for someone at his status, which brings us to the biggest cliffhanger in this entire story. Remember the original question. Did Aaron Rodgers disrespect Tom Brady? Hold that thought for just one more minute, because NBC sports writer Mike Florio spotted something that most people completely overlooked. Florio pointed out that Rodgers had zero obligation to appear on McAfee's show that day. No contract, no press requirement, nothing. He showed up because he wanted to, and Florio made a point that hit like a truck. He wrote this: "If Rodgers will disappear when he is done playing, and he has not yet disappeared, he is not done playing." Read that again slowly. Rodgers promised he will vanish when football is over, but he keeps showing up on camera. He keeps making statements. He keeps inserting himself into the conversation, which means, by his own logic, he is telling us he is not finished yet. Free agency opened today, March 11th, 2026. Rodgers is officially a man without a team, but his 2025 season in Pittsburgh proved he isn't just hanging on. He completed 66% of his passes for 3,322 yards and 24 touchdowns. He led the Steelers to an AFC North title and a 10-7 record. Even in that brutal wildcard loss to Houston, he looked like a man who still had a few chapters left to write, even if he claims the book is about to be thrown into the fire. He led the Steelers to a 10-7 record. The team made the playoffs. They lost to Houston in the wildcard round 30-6, but Rodgers himself proved he still has fuel left. He is 42 years old, playing at a level most quarterbacks cannot touch in their prime. Here is the final piece of data that most people are sleeping on. This is not Rodgers suddenly changing his mind. He said the exact same thing back in 2020. 6 years ago, on the same McAfee show, he told the world he had zero interest in TV or coaching once his playing days ended. He said, "When I am done, I want to be done." Most people ignored it because they assumed it was just talk. Athletes say things like that all the time and then reverse course. Brett Favre retired and came back multiple times. Brady himself retired for 40 days before returning for one final season. Everyone assumed Rodgers would do something similar with broadcasting. But Rodgers has been saying the same thing for 6 straight years. That is not a mood. That is a belief system. So let us go back to where we started. Did Aaron Rodgers disrespect Tom Brady? The honest answer is this: he did not say Brady was wrong. He never attacked the choice, but he drew a very clear line in the sand. Brady chose money, fame, and the spotlight. Rodgers is choosing silence, privacy, and disappearance. Two legends, two completely opposite exits. And here's what makes this story bigger than just football. The real question is not about TV deals or broadcasting booths. It is about what a man does when the cameras finally stop. Brady wants to stay in the light. Rodgers wants to be Keyser Soze. One of them is already living their answer. The other one is still on the clock. Because until Rodgers officially retires and actually disappears, every public appearance he makes is proof that the story is not over yet. And if he signs with another team in 2026, the whole world will be watching.